Pain heals. Chicks dig scars. Glory lasts forever.
Napheesa Collier dooms the WNBA to never ever growing, dooms it to irrelevancy, maybe dooms it right out of business. Could we see the league fold? The answer is yes. If the head of the players union, one of them, right? President or vice president, she's right up there at the top. If she gets her way, the WNBA will not grow. But of course, guess what? That also means, Napheesa, you are not going to get paid what you say you deserve. Do you deserve it? No, you don't. But let's say they would be willing. Not if you get your way. That's what is so insane about this. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. I appreciate all your support. Shout out to the 19. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Napheesa Collier has some really odd, dare I say, delusional statements regarding the WNBA and where it is right now. Talking, of course, to those very, very high IQ people that we all know and love, completely objective, Megan Rapinoe and Sue Bird. Yeah, so we'll get to that in a minute too. But here we go. She's talking about the growth of the WNBA.
You know
It's
what?
just like
Sorry,
kind of
not to
wild.
interrupt you. You know what is kind of surprising and disappointing, honestly? It is getting so toxic, I feel like, in our league with a lot of the fans going back and forth. Like, basketball and sports are supposed to be so unifying, and it is so toxic. Like, every game, just it's like hatred out there towards other players, and not just, you know, like Angel and Caitlin. Like, they are the OGs where people will get so
Yeah.
like polarizing with, but it's with everyone, and people are just so nasty on there. And it's like, we're playing a game. We are playing a game, and you are saying hateful things about players. Like, I don't know. That has been like really surprising. I feel like we're trending in a really bad spot with that.
Oh, deep breath. Where to begin? First of all, are you as upset and hurt as I am that Napheesa Collier is disappointed in you, the fan? You know, the one that pays the bills, the one that keeps the league going, the one that is the actual customer that allows Napheesa Collier to bounce a ball 4 months out of the year and make a very, very good living, while most Americans do not. They make less than Napheesa Collier. They work 52 weeks a year at real jobs. And she's disappointed in you for not just shelling out the money, sitting quietly, or only cheering positively for every single player in the league. By the way, she threw in two words I cannot stand people using anymore: toxic and hate, which, of course, as we all know, has become anything I don't like or disagree with is toxic or hateful, right? That is exactly what she's talking about. The idea that Caitlin and Angel are the OGs of this is absolutely absurd. That the Ed talks about trending in the wrong direction. Napheesa, you are talking about normal sports fandom that has existed long, long, long before you. That is what you're talking about. You are, to be fair, an absolute clown. You are sitting in your bubble of entitlement. And again, this is what I say about this league. How long have I been saying this? Come on, if you're one of the OGs, speaking of OGs, 19 who've been around for a long, long time, you know I've said before, the league, they want all the benefits of a successful big sports league, but they don't actually want real basketball fans. This has always been a little social club that they have tricked the NBA into shelling out money for. That is what it's been. They want their 17 fans that show up to every game, that think just like they do, that act just like they do, that believe everything they do, that have their purple hair and their septum rings and all that stuff. That is all they are about. And now that they have real fans, they absolutely hate it. But like I said, they want to get paid, right? Pay us what we deserve. Well, here's the thing, Napheesa, you don't deserve anything. You aren't owed a great financial living playing basketball. You can go get a real job. Playing basketball and being overpaid for it is not a right. It is not a right. You only get it if you attract enough fans willing to watch you and pay money to go to games because the product is good enough. wow, these people are absolutely nuts. They are not ready, nor do they want actual sports fans. Nafisa, take a look at what goes on in the NBA. Take a look at what goes on in the NFL or any other major professional sport, baseball, hockey, whatever it may be. And all the stuff you're talking about is nothing compared to what goes on in those sports. But your overly emotional self, who's been living in this bubble called the WNBA, where you've never had to have actual fans, never had to deal with criticism, never had to deal with booing, as we saw with that nonsense with Kalia Copper, you can't handle it. So here's the thing, quit. I've said this before. We have got to get all of these clowns out of this league. People will say when I'm critical, they're like, oh, you hate the WNBA. You don't want the league to. I want professional women's basketball to succeed. It doesn't have to be the WNBA, and it certainly doesn't have to be their players because it is the most unlikable group of entitled brats I have ever come across in my life. It's interesting, by the way, that Napheesa Collier mentions this on Sue Bird's podcast of all places. Sue Bird, who literally was laughing out loud not that long ago with Tina Charles over assaulting Caitlin Clark on the basketball court. She is laughing with one of the assaulters, also lying about what happened in the way she worded it, and laughing with Tina Charles and assaulting Caitlin Clark on the court. Now, if we're going to use some of your buzzwords, Napheesa Collier, that is toxic. That is actual hate. But that is the bias that is okay. That is the bias that is initiated, that is perpetrated. Well, yeah, we could use that too, but I was going to say perpetuated by the WNBA, by Kathy Engelbert, by the Players Association, by very low emotional IQ podcasters like Angel and Sue and Megan, who, by the way, was laughing with what Napheesa was saying there. Megan, by the way, you want to talk about toxic and hate, just as a quick aside, Megan tried to destroy the career of at the time, 19, maybe 20-year-old player who had made the women's national team, U.S. national team in soccer, simply because she was a Christian. And of course, Megan Rapinoe does not like Christians. Truth. You may not like that I said that, but it is still the truth. The WNBA players clearly, not only are they not ready for the popularity that is necessary for them to get the money they say they want, they don't want it. They don't want it. And I've said this repeatedly in the past for the OG 19 that have been here. You've heard me talk about this. These players want all the benefits of being a huge professional sports league, right? The charter flights, the money, the endorsement opportunities, but they don't want any of the what we'll call downside that goes along with it. They don't want any actual sports fans going to their games. They don't want fans booing. We know that from Kalia Copper. They don't want fan criticism. And Nafisa, why are you going online and watching this? You shouldn't even be paying attention to any of this online anyway, but you're all obsessed with scrolling through your social media. So here it is. This is how it happens in every popular sports league. What's going on in the W is a tiny drop in the bucket compared to the stuff that goes on with the NBA and the NFL and Major League Baseball and the NHL. So here's the thing. Now, we know Gatorade recently had their Let 'em Cook campaign. So here's what I suggest for Napheesa Collier and the likes of her. Go cook. Go cook. Go back to the actual kitchen and cook because you can't handle basketball. And of course, what I really mean, that's being tongue in cheek because of that ad, but simply quit, retire if you cannot handle what the WNBA is going to become in order to get these players paid. I've said it before. The players that have been around too long, that have always been about everything but the basketball, need to get out. I want women's basketball to succeed. It does not have to be the WNBA. It certainly doesn't have to be these group of narcissists in the league. Let's get the young blood in there. A lot of players that I don't know, and I don't care what they believe outside of this, but I don't see a lot of the young players other than, Angel, because of the whole, globbing onto Caitlyn's stuff, but the rookies that came in now, the players like Olivia Miles, Hannah Hidalgo, these exciting players that might be coming in, they seem to be a lot more about the basketball and they're a lot more fun to watch. Let's get them in. Let's shove these players out and let's revolutionize the basketball in the WNBA and make it a product that we all want to watch and support. Then get real rivalries like we had with Phoenix and Indy last night, because I tell you, fans love that. Now, we have to get rid of the way Alyssa Thomas acted. And like I said, she's old guard. She can go. We have to get rid of the responses from people like Kalia Copper after the fact. But that kind of rivalry, which is absolutely organic, that's good stuff. We got to get that, because what the WNBA players are doing, of course, like I said about being toxic and hate and all that, they're confusing toxic and hate with regular, normal sports fandom behavior. Fan short for fanatic. Again, Philly, but also New York is another one. If you're sick of hearing about Philly, but it's the one I know, Boston. Or how about let's go overseas and look at some of the European football fan bases, okay? I dare you to go see how Liverpool fans act, how Manchester United fans act, and how they act toward each other. Man City and Man United. I mean, come on. Are you kidding me with this nonsense? This is so unbelievably soft. Rooting against specific players and teams is normal part of sports. A normal part of sports. This idea that you have to love and support every player in the league is beyond absurd. It is ridiculous. I've only ever even heard this come up in the WNBA. It's so stupid. Look, either you want the league to grow, Nafisa, or you don't. It sounds like you don't. I mean, that's basically what you said is, hey, customer, we hate you. We don't want you. Go away. Not the best business practice. Not the best business practice. Clearly, you don't want the lead to go, because to grow, if you do, you're going to have more eyes. You're actually getting eyes that understand and know basketball, which is different than the eyes you ever had before, who just support you for all the other stupid reasons. Uh, you're going to get actual rivalries. So you're going to get, again, like the booing of Dewana Bonner when she entered the game last night is I it's such a non-story. It's not even a non-story in any other sporting event, but it's made into headlines with the WNBA. You're going to get scrutiny. You're going to get rivalries. You're going to get more trash talk. That is just simply reality. You need to embrace it. And again, sounds like Fee doesn't want to embrace it. So go cook. Seriously, just quit, or go to Unrivaled permanently, where you can just play in front of a couple of hundred of your old WNBA fans, right? Like that. I think the Unrivaled seats what, if 800 or something like that, which is more than enough for all of the WNBA fans combined before Caitlin Clark came into the league. Go play in front of them. Go play pickup, because you certainly are not ready for an actual professional sports league. This is some wild stuff. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know your thoughts on all this in the comments below. Appreciate you as always. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Go have the day you deserve. I will talk to you later.